I'm a 73-year-old woman living in rural Maine, where winters are long and cold, and even stepping out into the yard can be a challenge. But I still choose to live in good health. Not to live forever, but to live meaningfully, without becoming a burden to my children, and without being tied down by illness. Today, I want to share with you, those in my age group, the 5 things I've done to prevent chronic disease after age 65. I'm not a doctor. I'm just an old lady who has learned from her own body and experience. When I was 66, my doctor warned me about my risk of diabetes and high blood pressure. My heart was slowing down, and my mind felt foggy. I remember sitting on the wooden chair by my window that day, looking out at the snow, and thinking to myself, I need to change. Otherwise, I'll get used to living between the pharmacy, the hospital, and medical appointments. So I began with the first thing, eating less but eating right. I didn't go on a diet. I never counted calories. I just changed the way I thought about food. I used to love rich stews, red meat, and sugar-laden baked goods. But I realized that after 65, the stomach slows down and the heart becomes more fragile. So I told myself, eat what makes your heart smile, not work harder. I cut down on sugar. No more spoonfuls in my morning coffee. I replaced beef with salmon, sardines, or sometimes tofu. I learned how to make kale salads with olive oil, topped with walnuts and blueberries, beautiful and easy to digest. I drank more water. There was a time I had headaches and nausea. Turned out I was mildly dehydrated. Now, every morning, I keep a water bottle on the table and sip slowly throughout the day. I cut back on salt, no more sprinkling it over everything. I use herbs, basil, thyme, and sometimes a touch of turmeric. Natural flavors make me feel like I'm eating something truly wholesome. These small habits, after just a few months, help me shed a little weight, sleep deeper, and wake up feeling lighter every morning. Once my diet felt lighter, I moved on to the second thing, moving every day, but never overdoing it. I used to think exercise meant going to the gym, but then I looked around, the yard full of leaves, the house with chores undone, and I realized movement didn't have to be sweaty or exhausting. I call it slow and steady exercise. Every morning, I rotate my shoulders, back, and knees. Just 10 minutes, but consistently. I go outside and take a slow walk around the house, even in the cold. 15 or 20 minutes is enough to get my blood flowing. Gardening, hanging laundry, mopping the kitchen floor, it all counts as movement. I don't need a treadmill. I just need my feet not to stay still. And I've noticed, when I move regularly, my knees feel less stiff, my back hurts less, and I don't get out of breath going up the steps. Then I realized, it's not just the body that needs exercise. The mind does too. That's when I committed to the third thing, keeping my mind active, never letting my brain retire. I used to fear I was forgetting things, names of acquaintances, birthdays of my grandkids, even where I left my keys. It made me anxious. But then I read this, memory is a muscle. If you don't work it, it withers. Since that day, I started reading again. Not a lot, just 10 pages a day. I do crossword puzzles, sometimes Sudoku. I learned how to use the Notes app on my phone. Every morning, I write down a few things, a tiny plan, or just how I'm feeling that day. I practice remembering. I tell my grandkids old stories about biking through snow to school or the first time I saw the ocean. These fragments of memory are like sparks, warming the soul. Along this journey, I also learned to keep my bones strong, because once your joints start aching, life becomes truly limited. I no longer carry a 25-pound bag of rice like I did in my younger days, but I still practice standing and sitting a few times a day. I test my balance while brushing my teeth by standing on one leg. Sounds odd, but it works. I take calcium and vitamin D supplements, especially in winter when sunshine is rare. I chose easy-to-digest versions with my doctor's guidance. I eat a lot of leafy greens, sardines, and occasionally almond milk. I don't want to become the old woman who calls her kids every time she needs something from the top shelf. I've learned to break tasks down. If the vegetable basket is too heavy, I divide it into 2 bags. It's smarter and easier on my joints. But all these efforts would mean little if I didn't also practice the 5th thing, keeping a positive spirit. Because I've learned, stress brings illness faster than anything else. I've taught myself to go to bed at a regular hour. No more watching stressful news before sleep. I turn off the TV by 8 p.m., read a calming page or two, and head to bed. Deep sleep helps me recover from each day. I make regular calls to my friends. Some live all the way in Florida, some just a few blocks away. We chat, we laugh, sometimes just about how our soup turned out. I also write letters to my grandkids, to old friends. Waiting for a reply makes me feel connected in the most real way. I garden, knit scarves, and sing. Even if no one hears, that's fine. I sing for myself, to remind myself that life is still beautiful, even after we've crossed well past the halfway mark. After 60, I no longer chase the world. I live slowly, smile often, and that is the best free medicine I know. Looking back, I realize preventing illness isn't some grand mission. It's not in prescriptions or blood tests. It's in what you eat for breakfast, whether or not you step outside to breathe, in how you see life, as a burden or as a gift. If I, at 73, living in a cold rural town, can do it, then I believe you can too. Start today. You don't need to change everything at once, just one small thing and stick with it. You'll be amazed how your body and spirit respond. Thank you for spending this time listening to my story. If you found it helpful, please subscribe and like the channel, The Health Revival, where we grow stronger together. May God bless you and your family. See you again in the next video.